Alright, so just before I get started here, I'm going ahead and running my ozone machine to try to knock down some of the smoke and moldy food smell in here. And then while I work on the exterior for a few hours, the ozone will have time to dissipate. And starting on the pre-wash rinse here, and as you know, this is a critical step as I need to get as much dirt as possible off the vehicle so I can avoid instilling any scratches or swirl marks in the paint during the wash stage later on. Starting on the back now, and I figured I'd give you a little background on the vehicle. So besides having about 210,000 kilometers on it, or roughly 130,000 miles, the owner was telling me when she dropped it off that she had actually taken it to another detailer last year who, quote, didn't do a very good job. And honestly, judging by the state of the interior, I'd have to agree. So fortunately, she brought it to me, and as you guys know, I'll do everything I can to get it looking perfect. Now for these door jambs, the pressure washer is the quickest way to get them cleaned out. And for those of you out there who might be leery of doing this, I can assure you that it is possible to keep the interior dry if you spray at a steep angle and just control the wand. I was skeptical the first time I did it too, but as you can see, there isn't a drop that goes inside the car. Alright, so with the car dried now, I'll start on these disgusting floor mats, and these are right up there with some of the dirtiest that I've ever seen, as they are completely stuffed full of dirt. And not only did it take about 5 solid minutes of pressure washing to get each of them clean, the moment I started spraying them, it unleashed the overwhelming stench of cigarette smoke into my garage. So luckily it was warm enough outside that I could open up the garage doors for ventilation. But once I finished the first mat, I went and grabbed my respirator, which you'll see me wearing for the rest of the detail, as the interior of the vehicle smelled just as bad. Alright, now it's finally time to start on the massive job that this interior is going to be, so I'll quickly get the front and second row seats and some of the trim removed, as it will be far easier to clean everything outside of the vehicle. And if you're curious, I always disconnect the battery before doing this so I don't run into any issues with the airbags or the vehicle throwing a code. And taking a look at the total carnage that's remaining in here, and I know I've got quite a bit of work ahead of me, but the best way to attack this is with a step-by-step plan, with the first of those being to get rid of all the larger garbage and personal items. And honestly, it never ceases to amaze me at what I find in some of these vehicles. Now working my way around with the vacuum, and for the first time, the vast majority of the hair stuck in these carpets is actually human hair and not from a dog. So of course the Lily Brush is still my go-to here, as it can easily pull any kind of hair out of the carpets, even longer human hair. So if any of you out there shed a lot, or maybe your dog does too, I've got the Lily Brush available on my website at detailgeekautocare.com, where worldwide shipping is available. Okay, so it's finally time to tackle these dirty and stained seats, so I'll quickly get some carpet solution sprayed on and will then agitate with my Detail Geek medium green drill brush, as just looking at these seats and carpet, I know I'm going to need the stiffer brush today. And as I make the first few passes with the Bissell, it's great to see nearly everything coming out of them, although for any lingering spots, I'll either repeat the process or hit them with the steamer later on. Here's the 2 entire buckets full of incredibly nasty and smelly water pulled from the Tucson. Gross. Now for the trim pieces I removed earlier, I'm going to first spray on some APC diluted about 4:1, as the crud on here is clearly really stuck on, but thankfully the steamer can still make really quick work of this. So for anyone who might be in the market for one of the most versatile cleaning tools out there, I've got the link to the steamer I use down in the description for you, along with nearly every other product and tool that I use, so feel free to check those out. With everything clean now, I'll get to work dressing and UV protecting the interior trim, and for that I use 303's Aerospace Protectant, which should last for about 4 to 6 weeks.